Philosophy is all about asking questions. It challenges us to go beyond our everyday thoughts and pushes us to wonder about human nature. Although there are many interesting discussions in the world of philosophy, the problem of other minds is a topic that still causes discussion among philosophers. The problem of other minds is centered around the belief that other people have a mind capable of thinking or feeling like oneself. The problem basically establishes that people aren't capable of knowing if other people have a mind similar to yours, because it is technically impossible to know what's inside another people's mind. In the reading, the author asks us to imagine a scenario where zombies do exist and live in the same world as us. There, a zombie will look like us, walk like us, talk like us, and he even explains that if we could hit him, he will scream and groan as or more than us. So how can we explain that there is nothing inside of the zombie? Exactly, we cannot. This is the problem of other minds. Despite something being so alike us, we don't know what's inside of them, and there's no way for us to know if they rationalize and think the same way we do. Now, this leads us to our philosophical question. How do we know that other people feel, think, and rationalize in the same way we do? Well, a philosopher called J.S. Mill poses the philosophical question of other minds in this way. You're a human like me. You behave a lot like me, use language like me, I have a mind. Isn't it rational to suppose that you have one too? In other words, how do I know that the other beings exist who have thoughts, feelings, and other mental attributes? Well, this is a long question that many philosophers have tried to answer, and that, it's not as easy as it sounds. Now, let's go back a little bit into the example that we gave earlier about zombies to understand a little more what's behind this complex issue. The philosopher Larry Hauser portrays his philosophical zombies as humans that think exactly like him with the same behavior and psychology, but are not conscious about their way of thinking. Now, the thing here is that we cannot prove that the relationship between the human body and the mental life is true. There's no way for us to know what really is happening behind a human mind, and that we cannot prove that this is happening to other people. Let's go into another philosopher, Ludwig Wittgenstein. What we can infer from this quote of Wittgenstein is that it's almost impossible to ensure ourselves that our minds or the minds of others thinks all the same, in some way similar to Descartes' cognito ergo sum. Now, what is the problem with this? Well, another philosopher titled Bertrand Russell, a British philosopher, developed the idea that thought and actions relate to each other. Everyone is similar regarding psychology. He believes that actions are caused by thoughts. Therefore, he believes that other minds exist because people do actions that are similar to their own actions. Now, talking about Descartes, he believes that man is composed of two main things, mind and matter. Both of them are different. Mind is separate from the physical world. Descartes could doubt the existence of the physical world and that even his own body actually existed. But he could not doubt the idea that his mind existed, because doubting is a thought process. Now, let's go back into an example of real life. Think of an actual real-life example that could happen around this issue. The problem that can really be applied today is artificial intelligence, which used to be science fiction and imagination, but is now getting closer and closer to reality. For example, robots begin to mimic behavior that is almost indistinguishable from humans. But how should we not attribute a mental life to them? As we do, it takes conscious effort to deny the mental states of non-humans. Now, to close up, what are our personal ideas? Well, after discussing the complicated and twisted questioning of the existence of other minds, we need to create an opinion for ourselves regarding this concept. Personally speaking, we believe that there is no rational way of solving this problem. Questioning whether other human beings think and feel the same way we do is technically useless, since there is no way of knowing what other people think. The problem of other minds is not a practical problem, since we cannot rationalize it. Philosophers like Ludwig and Fred Dresdick have stated that the way the problem of other minds is proposed is erroneous and just confusing. All in all, we have to remember, we're talking about philosophy here, so everything is possible, and when it comes to philosophy, wondering and asking ourselves about everyday life is super important. So everything is possible when it comes down to what each individual believes and what each individual questions of human essence. So we invite you to ask about everything that surrounds us and question everything in sight. Thank you very much.